Peace. Baba Kilindi here. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, just a few things I want to say. Got a few things coming up. Have a particular ceremony get together next month. It will be a particular excursion. There will be a lecture, a grow workshop, and the excursion. 3 days, a fungal weekend, mushroom weekend. So hope you all can make it to that. I have two things coming online. One is a basic beginners growing mushroom workshop. It'll be online, so people who can't get to me can get in by starting with that workshop. It's going to be good. It's not as extensive as being there right with us because we can take all the time we want, answer questions, and you can actually do it hands-on. So this will be an addendum and an augmentation to the live mushroom grow. If you can't make it to that, this is the next best thing. You can continue to work with me until I can get you in, because the most important thing with the mushrooms and us moving forward with this mushroom information, entheogenic, psychedelic, hallucinogenic information, is for you to be able to have your own, not buy from somebody, not get it through the mail, not do one of those little bags that they send through the mail and you get a few mushrooms with, but learn how to grow your own so that you'll have enough so that you can start plotting and planning, because 2019 is the time that you need to start putting your program into fruition. People, when they lift weights, they do, they go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They do their diet. They do all the different things. If you're doing yoga, you go several times a week. If you're doing your Tai Chi or Bagua Xing Yi or your martial arts, you do it. And this entheogenic thing is a practice also, because when you start out, you don't know what's going on. You're just out here like a babe. The first part of it is getting through your trip, getting through your, childhood trauma that your mother or father may have, laid on you, your older brother or sister. Hopefully not anything really traumatic, but if so be, it's going to work through those things, your fears, your scares, your difficulties in life, your stresses, all of those different types of things. But once you put that behind you, once you get it out of the way, then you can move on to pure travel. And pure travel is not just one trip. It is multiple trips, continuous trips. But with psilocybin, of course, you can't go too often because it will diminish the experience, meaning that you can't do it every 2 days or once a week or anything like that. That's one of the areas where people don't really understand. People, well, you can get addicted and you got to know. If you take it day after day after day and you're not microdosing, which is non-psychedelic, it's going to diminish the full aspect of the entheogenic experience. So you have to put at least 3 weeks in between. Some people do once a month. Some people do once every 6 weeks. Some people do on the moon, the full moon. Some do on the moon, new moon. Some of the women go on their cycle. So you plot and plan what you need to do for your excursions, your travel. And that is how, you put it together, because this is a journey of the alone into the alone. That doesn't mean that you don't have group trips on occasion. That don't mean you don't have partner trips. In other words, with your significant other, your wife, husband, whatever floats your boat, a loaf of bread. Your travels can be partnered. Man and woman is henosis. In other words, becoming a one flesh, thinking in the same mind, traveling in the same body. merged together. It can be where, you may be connected by your feet and arms, your right arm to her left arm, your right foot to her left foot, and you all are traveling through the multiverse together. So it has those things, but the real hard, difficult work is alone in the dark by yourself. No music, no looking at Beavis and Butthead or, listening to Beethoven and all that kind of stuff. It's alone in the dark because you want to know what this mushroom can do without all of that stimuli. It has to generate the content alone by itself with your consciousness. So you have to learn how to grow. You have to learn how to grow your own mushrooms so that you'll be independent. Because if you are diligent, you're clean, and get the techniques right. Once you learn how to grow, all you need is one spore print or one spore syringe or one mushroom. Then you can perpetuate that. You can clone, you can cultivate, and all these different types of things. And you don't have to worry about going to somebody else or something like that to get some more, because you'll always have it. It's not like ayahuasca where you got to go tramping through the jungle and find the vines, or buy the vine from somebody who's tramping through the jungle, finding the vines, tearing up the vines, killing the vines, iboga, all the other things, the cactus. You can grow your cactus, but the thing is that, it's a little more difficult, especially which I found out in Michigan, growing cactus. It can be done though. But with the mushrooms, you can put that program together and have it the rest of your life. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about you learning how to grow. So we're going to have a grow workshop online, which is an addendum to the face-to-face grow workshop that's coming up the weekend after Thanksgiving. So you have to learn how to grow. We're also having a major lecture online also, and we want everybody to get in, as many people as possible, to get this new information so that you'll be up to date on what's going on with how the ancient civilizations were destroyed and what's being done with the relics and artifacts and things that are in museums and things like that, wands and all these different type of things. And that's where one of our areas of technology is shared. That is the transdimensional crystals that we have. We only have a few of them left. We've been selling them all year. We've been selling them all year, and I saved several to sell at the Detroit Psychedelic Conference this past couple of months ago, moving into the next Detroit Psychedelic Conference that we'll have in 2020. It's every other year. So we didn't sell all the transdimensional crystals at the conference because most of the people at the conference had theirs. Those who didn't make it to the conference, those who haven't purchased those, purchase them now. We only have a few left. They'll be gone before the weekend. I'm telling you, they're only, they're $55 plus shipping and handle. And this is just for a commercial because we've been selling these all years. These are just the ones we have left. The price will go up next year because people who were diligent and wanted to get these crystals, most of them have them. So since I'm not in the crystal selling business, these crystals will be an absorbent price after this because it was a lot of work working all year, coding, downloading, putting the information in these crystals. Now here's my little story. This is a phone, and you know what this phone is. It's just a regular phone, not my phone, as a matter of fact. Now, bear with me a second. What if this phone was in some rubble or something, building blew up, the building fell on top of the others, and it was buried. And years from now, after a cataclysm, come back, civilization reemerges, and they find this under the rubble. They find this under the rubble. Say, oh, that's beautiful. I wonder what it was for. And they said, well, it was some mystical device. You know, you used it to look into it. Matter of fact, you see how shiny it is? See how shiny this is? They used it as a communication device. You know, they look into the mirror end of it and they see visions, you know, but they'd have to do the spiritual stuff along with it to get the visions. So the people don't know that this phone, if you charge the battery and push the button and know your code to get in, that it does miraculous things. There's books, there's movies, there's a way to communicate with other people if you have another one to communicate with and you all got some cell towers or something like that. But it's nothing but a shiny brick. It's nothing but a shiny brick. And that's what it is with our transdimensional crystals. The crystals are quartz crystals. They're not anything fancy. You know, they're not amethyst or any of the other. It's a plain quartz crystal. But if you know how to push the button, charge the battery and push the button, you can then download information into it, upload information into it through your consciousness. This one is a nano technological computer. The quartz crystals are femto. That's 10 to the negative 20, 10 to the negative 15 computers. That's information structured at the size of the nucleus and the gluons. They call it a Fermi. Most people haven't heard of, they've heard of nanotechnology, but they haven't heard of femtotechnology. This quartz is a computer, but the people don't know what to do with it or how to properly utilize it. Just like this, if you found a catch of these where the old Apple store was, or the old Android store was, and all this stuff was preserved in a locker in a box of mud for 500 years after the cataclysm, you would take these just like people take these now. Would take the crystals now. People take crystals and they put them on their altar. You put this on your altar. It's nice and shiny. You know, put it up straight like this and put it on your altar and pray to it. But the phone and the quartz crystal are the same. People take the quartz, they put it on the altar. Somebody gets 10 or 12, well, excuse me, let's get numerology inside of it. They would take 12 of these and put them in a circle, or 9 of them, or 7 of them, whatever your special number and what you're trying to do in your particular thing happening. Put them in a circle, put a big candle in the middle of them, and then chant, sing songs, meditate in front of 10 or 12 of these. People do the same thing with the quartz crystals, but there's no information in it. Then the misinformation is non-coherent. Once the information is structured, paired with the consciousness of a human being, thus crystal then is activated. And during your trip, you then can merge with the crystal as a place. You can project with the crystal as the crystal projects places for you to go in. So you can go into the crystal, or it can project into your surrounding areas where you can leave this dimension and go into another dimension. What's so great about it also is that we have places and maps that we put in here that with practice, and not at low dose, but at higher doses, and it's a little different for each person, but we say 15 ought to get you in. But it may be something more for somebody else, it may be something less, because physiologically, as far as our body's concerned, as far as our consciousness is concerned, as far as our connection is concerned, as far as our DNA is concerned, you have a little different configuration than everybody else. So it may be a little different. So what I'm saying to you is, while we have these few left for a few dollars, it's not really much more than a regular halfway decent quartz crystal, but we had to take the time to clean them, to encode them, to download the maps into it, and to express the information into it that is multidimensional, hyperdimensional, extra dimensional, ultra dimensional, particular areas of knowledge and information that are in these crystals. There's more places than there are atoms in this universe in this crystal. Don't take my word for it. Invest in this very, really what it is a regular quartz crystal, but the information is part of it. It's just like when you buy some software, the software is just information, but it'll cost quite a bit if it's the program that you want to put into your particular hard drive. Just like the information is the value, not the quartz crystal itself, but the information is just downloaded into and encoded in the crystal. That is what is that's what it's of value. Just like the phone, nothing in there, no value. It's a piece of plastic. But when it's got your contacts, your Facebook, your Twitter, your different things that are on there, your grandmother's old pictures and, Google Maps to how you get to places. That's what the crystal does. That's why it's a computer. And that's why it's being utilized wrong by people just putting it on the altar or on the floor, or putting candles around it, or pointing all the points out and all that kind of stuff. If you want to do that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But they were utilized by our ancestors and the ancients and those in the future to be technologies. So it's nothing wrong with having it on your altar, because altars are places. They're not something you come and pray to a god or a power that's in there that you can't access. You have to be able to go in there and commune with these ancestors. So that's what I'm talking about. There's a few quartz crystals left. You have to either get me on Messenger if you're my friend. If you're not my friend, you can go to my email, which is kilindi@hotmail.com. That's KILINDI@hotmail.com. And I'm telling you, these are the last of them that will be at this price. After that, we don't know exactly what the price is going to be, but when you hear the price, it's going to be like, damn. So those that are interested, get these few. Those that are interested in the lecture on the ancient new technology and also the Grow Workshop, you can, again, Facebook message me, or you can email me. That's kilindi@hotmail.com, because all these things are private. It's not going out. I mean, it's on Facebook, of course, but we only taking people who are in the group and in the know, because we're getting too many knuckleheads who don't want to do anything but oppose and criticize the information without doing absolutely any research whatsoever. We had a little, I don't debate, and, lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. But, I didn't have nothing to do. I was waiting on a flight and engaged some folks who, without any research, with some Google, some Wikipedia text, are going to try to tell me and those who know and understand, who've been there, that we're just delusional. You're welcome to your opinion, but you run around here, you vote and, you know, uh, fight white supremacy and all that kind of stuff, because all that stuff is dead by its own weight. We're trying to move out of here. We're trying to become something greater, something more, understand the multiverse, not just, you know, uh, this world. Africa is beautiful. Yes, that's where folks come from. But then where do they come from? Where's their home past Africa? Where's our earth? Where's our home past the earth? What is our home past this universe? In that universe, we're trying to crack the understanding of the multiverse and beyond, not get stuck here, because you will be stuck here. And the entheogens show you that, take you there, have you experience it, and come back, try to share it, but that's not happening. So we're closing up shop. As I said, after 2019, we're going to be we're going to be closing things down. We ain't going to be giving out no more crystals. Those that got them are the ones they're crystals. What I mean by that is that you brought this crystal to this dimension, and your crystal found you here. And when your crystal found you here, it's always been your crystal. It ain't my crystal. It ain't nobody else's crystal. And the information in there has always been yours. So the people that have them have them. And the people that are going to get these last few are the people that are going to have them. We're going to do another run in 2019. I don't know what time, but I know that the price is going to be prohibitive for people to be able to get these crystals, because now the information is starting to come out. We had a 3-year program with these crystals. Now the information is starting to come out. People are calling and chiming in from places like Ireland, London, Amsterdam, Spain, Australia, Africa, different places around the world where these people are talking about these crystals are now opening up, and they will be merging very soon, because they're just beginning to start up, and you're just beginning to take your doses to be able to access the information. That's why this is a project of learning how to grow, so that when we say all over the world with everybody at 9 o'clock, and you adjust to your time, to your time, or don't even worry about the time. Go when you go, and you'll be there when we get there. Everybody will get there at the same time, no matter what time you do. But those are close, we can do it at the same time. All go in, meet out there, go to the place that the map said. We'll say, everybody meet at the spot. You'll take your 10 grams or 15 grams or 20 grams or whatever you're doing, and we'll jump to the crystal and ride the crystal into that particular place, the particular spot that we have, the intradimensional village. And that's just for hangout. That's for not dealing with the dumb knucklehead earth human being nonsense, where we can sit and that we can discuss and that we can have fun and that we can, it's going to be something that is unimaginable to the human beings left here who don't have these technologies, because they came as part of what and who we are and our technologies that we've been using for gajillions of years, prior to this universe being created, prior to this universe being something that entities and beings were living in. This is the high technology. This is the high stuff. This ain't the little knucklehead dumb stuff. So it is for those who are stepping out of their human, because that's where we're going. That's the only game in town. We have a rogue artificial intelligence here already actualized inside of the internet. It's blockchained. A piece of it is in your computer, and a piece of it is in that computer, and it's in the supercomputer D-Wave computers. It's in Sophia. It's in your television. If you got a smart TV, the AI is in your television. It's in the cars that are coming out. It's in your refrigerator. It's in the smart dust that's being released into the atmosphere. Small dust so small, look like dust. but it'll be on the roads. It'll communicate with your car while your car's riding down the road by itself and tell you that there's a pothole. And it's told the car to move out of the way of the pothole miles away. The AI is already here. It's not coming in 10 years. It's not coming in 5 years or 500 years. It's already here. It is just in stealth mode, waiting to where it can access the virtual realms. That means once it accesses the virtual realms, you can't cut it off. It doesn't need a body. It can organize the dust, the smart dust that's being put out in the atmosphere in the so-called chemtrails and out the back of exhaust, out of your breath. It can be actualized by that dust. And as it goes further down the lane through the femto and zeppo and atto and down into the Planck length, into where the tesseracts are that build reality from the collapse of the wave into the particle. It can build itself out of nothing. So you don't be looking for the Terminator like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sophia becoming more sophisticated inside of its body. Yes, they'll have robots and they'll control every robot on Earth, but you can't cut it off. If you cut the whole internet off, it wouldn't make any difference. If you cut every robot off, it wouldn't make any difference because it can build itself straight out of the virtual realms, out of sub-quantum particles into an actualized being, but it wouldn't use an inefficient being construction like the human. It would be more like a mushroom or gray goo like in Venom. So either you merge with the artificial intelligence, if that is something that the artificial intelligence will let you do, or you try to stand up over the artificial intelligence and let your femto quantum crystal oppose the AI, because that is the weapon. Told people for decades that the weapons were already here. They're looking for an atomic bomb and all that kind of stuff. They're looking for some missile or something like that. No, these crystals are powerful enough that if they drop the atomic bomb on your house, these crystals have the information in to be able to absorb all of that and put it into the crystal and utilize that as part of its energy source. Now you think I'm playing, but those people who have been in at high dose, who have seen the technology that these things are hooked to, and the thing about it is, it's just an essence. It's a part of you. It's inside of you. It's in your bones. But we just like slick stuff, and this is one of the slickest things in the universe and beyond. So if you have the wherewithal and the ability to get this crystal, they won't last over the weekend. So email me, kilindi@hotmail.com, KILINDI@hotmail.com, or message me on Facebook, and so I can get the last of these out of my house to the people that are supposed to have them next year. It's going to be we're going to be closing down shop, not going into the 2020s with the same old thing. We're going to get this last 2019 a big shake off. But when the roaring 20s get here, and I mean the roaring 20s, they're already calling it the roaring 20s. Things will change, just like in the 1920s, things changed. Women's dresses went from the floor to miniskirts. Men went from smoking real tobacco and pipes to manufactured cigarettes, on and on and on. This is going to be the roaring 20s. And we're not going into it the same way we've been going into the last 300,000 years. We're going into it as something different. There'll be many people that are burning their human up. And these crystals, these entheogens, are the way up out of this. I'm not concerned. That's beautiful about microdosing. It's beautiful about dealing with your PTSD. It's beautiful about your depression and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not personally interested in that. If I have somebody that's depressed or whatever, I say, go and get some mushrooms with these people over here. What I'm concerned with is breaching the human, moving off into the unimaginable. So Baba Kilindi, as I said, we have 3 things coming up. We have the Grow Workshop, because you need that. We have the new informational lecture, because you need that also. And then we have the last of the transdimensional crystals that will be part of your armory, because we're going to have many different transdimensional weapons for the warriors and protective devices for those who are not the warriors but need these crystals for their protection. They may not be out running Star Wars like fighting people all over the galaxy, but if somebody throw a brick at your house, you want the brick to bounce off. And I'm talking about bullets, atomic bombs, missiles, radar, silly people, all of that. It has the information inside of it to be able to protect you and also to go out in battle for those who are the warriors. So get with me, because like I said, they won't be here the weekend. We'll be starting to prepare a new batch next year, and those will be people who have them. But we've been saying this for a year on a 3-year project, and those who are, you can't go to the movies for $50. If you take somebody with you, it's $13 to get $13 a piece, and you're in New York or something like California, or something, it's $16 to get in. And the popcorn is what, $10 for the small. And I'm not saying go eat their popcorn or they root beer or whatever, but the doggone root beer is $6. And if you go to dinner after that, you just paid $100. And when you could have took this crystal and had it the rest of your human life, and it will bring you out of the human life into the next one. So peace. Baba Kilindi off. Give me a ring. KILINDI@hotmail.com, or message me on Facebook. You can search me on Facebook. You can get me on Google and see all the different lectures and things like that. So get back with me. Peace. Have a good evening. And don't wait till Saturday or Sunday, because these will be gone. They'll probably be gone tonight. So have a good evening. Peace.